Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Inside Titan Sports. My name is Erik, and as always, thanks for joining us. We have a lot to catch you up on with Titans athletics, but more importantly, we have breaking news. We have our women's soccer team is advancing to the national championship. With that being said, welcome back the director of athletics and the head coach, Jeff Carr. Hey, Coach.
How you doing, Erik?
I'm excited. 6 straight times to the NJCAA Division I National Championship, and here we are again.
Yes, here we are again. Some people probably didn't believe that we're going to get here again, but I did believe in our team, and they performed when they needed to.
I'll tell you what, you stepped up and really played well in the district and the region to advance in your last game. 4-0 winner, a clean sheet in Ellisville, Mississippi. Talk about that big game, big win.
Yeah, long bus ride for one. We
Okay.
left Wednesday and got there Thursday. It was about a 12-hour bus ride altogether. But yeah, big win. We outshot them 25-5.
Wow.
Dominated the game. They had a great crowd there for them supporting them. But yeah, we got the job done, and we should have finished a few other opportunities, but we got the job done, got a clean sheet, and got back on the bus Saturday and made it home safely.
Well, I'll tell you what, you really have a balanced scoring attack. I mean, you got the triple Titan threat.
Yeah, we have 4 girls with 10 goals or more. We
Wow.
have Katie, Nat, Ebony. Well, Ebony actually has 7. Christina, maybe we only have 3. My math is not very good. So we have a really, really potent attack this year. You know, kind of balanced, like you said. So we're really excited about that. So if you shut down one player, you can't shut them all down.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, the distribution of ball. I mean, from a defensive standpoint to scout you guys out, who are you going to try to shut down when you have all these players across the field?
Right. So yeah, hopefully it makes it a little harder to defend us, and hopefully with different players step up for different games. So we're excited about that. So far it's worked out that way.
Now, you're very close to getting that cup, Coach. And now you got the good luck beard. Talk about that to our fan base right
Well,
there.
yeah, I grew up in Canada. In the spring, the hockey playoffs, they all grow a beard. So I kind of did the same thing for this fall for the girls. And I was actually going to shave it this past weekend, but they didn't want any part of that. And now my wife wanted me to shave it, so hopefully we'll not shave it until after the national championship game on November 18th.
Now talk about that. The bracket was released now, November 13th to the 18th. Again, Eastern Florida gets to host the national championship. Great exposure, great for the brand. You play the 13th. Who are you going to play?
Yeah, we play Iowa Western, who's the 9th seed, but they're really, really good. They've played probably one of the hardest schedules in the nation. They've played Tyler, they've played Laramie, they've played Butler, and 2 of those teams are at the national tournament. So, and Adam Sanchez, their coach, has done a tremendous job with them. So we have our hands full of the. They're probably one of the better 9 seeds in the last 4 or 5 years that's at the national tournament.
So who do you play Wednesday? You play Iowa Western, then Wednesday you play who?
Schoolcraft out of Michigan.
Okay.
We played them last year and just barely beat them at the national tournament. They're a fantastic team, blue-collar mentality, just work their tails off on the field. So we have our hands full with them, and they're the number 5 seed. So they're undefeated right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of these games are getting exposure too. They're televised by NJCAA TV. So a lot of eyes on the set. Again, eyes on the program. Is 6-time the charm for Eastern Florida women's soccer?
Well, we hope so, yeah. We get a ton of exposure. There's so many college coaches either watching online or watching in person. There's probably a couple hundred that are actually watching at Division I and Division II. So it gets huge exposure for our players as they move forward to the next level for them.
Now, obviously, you have the explosive attackers on your side of the ball. Talk about the goalkeeping. Seems pretty good with a clean sheet, with everything on the line to get to the national championship. 4-0 winner, that's a big one.
Yeah, Sarah Denart played really, really well in the game in Mississippi, and overall has done a really good job this year. But the back 4 have been tremendous. We've had Eunice Apon, Chloe Whitaker, Destiny DeLuca's played a ton, Danny Gonzalez, and Megan D. So those 5, we've had injury here or there, so 4 of those 5 have always contributed significantly and done a tremendous job, and they've gotten better as the season has gone on.
So now hosting a national championship, you wear 2 hats. Obviously, a well-renowned women's soccer coach, but also the director of athletics. What's your role responsibility during the week of the 13th through the 18th?
Well, it's pretty hectic right now. This week is pretty hectic. We're making sure all the teams are placed and the hotels are assigned. We have to make sure the numbers are correct for the banquet we're hosting on Sunday. We've got to get practice schedules for Sunday. Everyone gets 30 minutes on the game field, 30 minutes on the practice field. So, got to make sure all the awards are in. We're also honoring 8 individuals as being welcomed to the Hall of Fame for the women's soccer for NJCAA. So those plaques have to come in, and we got to organize their banquet tickets, their hotel rooms. So, and then the referees as well. We got to get them hotels and make sure, you know, schedule them for all the different games. So lots going on. And then just the week after, we have, you know, the NCAA women's basketball tournament starting Thanksgiving Day. So a couple of really hectic weeks of lots of stuff going on, but it's fun. It's, you know, each thing's a little different, and I love actually hosting events, just watching the teams play, and that I enjoy as a fan as well, watching the games.
Well, Coach, how do you manage that time, though? I mean, that's a lot on your plate, and also to keep the focus to chase that cup for the women's team.
Yeah, I think I just kind of used to it. We've hosted it probably, I can't remember how many years in a row we've hosted it. We've hosted it more than we've actually been in it, so I think 7 or 8 years. So you just kind of get used to it, and kind of, you know, the longer you've done it, the more, you know, familiar with it, and it becomes a little easier, but it's just, you know, I'm kind of used to go anyway. So, and the week after Thanksgiving, I'll slow down, but for the next couple of weeks, it's just 100 miles an hour.
So, Coach, what's the format? You got 4 matches on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. When are the semis and the finals?
Yeah, so each winner of the pool play will go on to play in the semifinals on Friday evening.
Okay.
There's 2 games, and then the national championship game is Saturday evening. Still pretty tough to play that many games in a short period of time.
Right.
I would recommend, yeah, I've recommended before, maybe having 4 sites the week before and just bringing the Final Four to a neutral site or to a site, so that, you know, playing 4 games in 5 days or 4 games in 6 days, you're just dead by the end of the week. You know, we've been to the national championship game twice, and by that national championship game, we were finished.
Have you caught anybody's attention with that thought process and that plan that you think that would work?
I think some of the soccer coaches agree with that, but
Okay.
the NJCAA hasn't seen the light yet, but we'll keep working on them.
Now you have a special event to welcome everybody, the welcome reception on Sunday night at a nearby hotel. Talk about that and the special speaker that's going to talk to the gals.
Yeah, it'll be 5 o'clock on Sunday at the Hilton Rialto in Melbourne. Danielle Fotopoulos, who's now the women's coach at Eckerd College, but she played for Florida, won a national championship there, and Abby Wambach was one of her teammates. She has the record for most goals in a career, still holds it, and points in a career NCAA. And she was also on the World Cup team that won the first World Cup. So fantastic lady, driven, successful on and off the field, mother of 4 or 5. She's coached at LSU, she's coached as assistant at Florida, and now at Eckerd, and then, you know, as a player was one of the best of all time, the very best of all time, NCAA Division I.
Well, I think that's a great message. She's a winner across the board, and those gals, to hear that message, I think is very special. Talk about, for our viewers out there that want to come out there and support the national championship, tickets and all that jazz to come out there next week.
Yeah, just tickets you can buy at the gate. You can get a pass for the whole week, or you can just get them for individual days. But there's games starting at 10 o'clock on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 o'clock, 12:30, 3 o'clock, and 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You know, some special players that'll be playing at the next level for Division I schools will be there. For, you know, some fantastic, talented players and talented teams. Phoenix, who's the #1 team in the country, haven't lost this year, and ironically, their goalie was our goalie when we went to the national championship game in 2015. So she sat out last year because she was playing with the Mexican national full team. So she's from Phoenix, so she'll be one special player to watch, and if she'll be going on to the next level as well.
Well, Coach, wish you luck.
Thank you.
Monday, 5:30, go beat Iowa Western and keep on continuing that national championship.
All right, thank you.
Coach Carr, we're going to take a short break, talk some men's golf and women's golf. Stick around. This is Inside Titan Sports.
Create the career of your dreams with a degree from Eastern Florida State College. Earn a bachelor's degree, associate's degree, or college certificate in growing job fields like healthcare, business, and computer technology. On campus or online, you can find inspiration and success. Anything's possible where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Hey fans, welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. Time to jump to the links and talk men's and women's golf. Welcome back none other than the head coach is Jaime Howell. Hey Coach.
Hello, Erik.
Welcome back to the show.
Good to be here.
I'll tell you what, you've had a busy fall. Talk about that, what's transpired with Hurricane Irma and all that jazz.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Hurricane Irma leave. We had a tough fall dealing with that. Lost a couple of events, one each with the ladies, one with the men's, but we've got some competition in since.
I'll tell you, with the Wall State, that's always been like a good tournament for the men's side.
Hated to miss that, too. That's an annual one for us. Coach York up there is a close friend. We support one another, and just hated missing that event because it's such a good one to kick off the season for the men's team.
Now, do you ever have to reschedule that at this level in terms of, does it help you to qualify, or it's just nice to get reps for the players on both sides?
Always nice to get some reps. It's not necessarily you have to reschedule. You would like to, but it can be difficult for the colleges to get the golf course again. You know, they sign up to have them for specific dates. We move a little bit deeper into the wintertime, and tourism season happens, and golf courses tend to get filled.
Now, how did that Ryder Cup event work out? That's just a great event in terms of camaraderie and all that jazz. The event, the kids really had to enjoy that event.
Can we talk about the Hurricane, because we got our butts kicked at the Collegiate Cup?
Okay.
It is a good event,
okay.
And it's, again, we've talked about Florida Tech and Eastern Florida. We've really embraced it. Both sides really look forward to competing for that cup. But we just didn't perform. We got there, we prepared really well, and when we got out on the golf course, Florida Tech kicked us all over it. And at the end of the week, they took the cup back down to Melbourne.
Well, I'll tell you, you're going to get it back, Coach. I know your energy. Now, what about the Rollins tournament? You played in a high-end Rollins tournament over there, east side of Orlando at Rio Pinar.
Yeah, good place to go. You know, former home of the Citrus Classic, which was the forerunner to the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Very good NCAA Division II tournament. We're the only junior college there. We're in the deep end of the pool that week. We played okay. We finished 10th, which I'm never going to show up and be happy finishing 10th, and we were down one of our top 2 players. Matthew Eschelard had to stay home. He was under the weather. Huh. You don't get better when you leave home one of your top 2. And at the same time, the guys who went, they played hard. When we got done, we looked at our stats. There was actually a lot of really good information there. Guys could actually feel good about some things, as well as here's what we need to do to get better for the next one.
Well, the biggest thing is being down 2 players. You saw that next man up. Who was going to step up? That had to be something you could gauge on the team.
Yeah, I took a freshman. Tanner Gonzalez actually qualified for his first event.
Wow.
He struggled, and to his credit, he played from the first hole to the 54th. But again, it was an eye-opener for him. Okay, here's what I have to get ready for. He's been working hard at it since.
What about some other freshmen that really shined for the men's team?
Beck Fox from Vero Beach. He's qualified for her first 2 events. While he struggled at the first one, he was our low man over at Rollins. I believe he finished 12th individually. Had a very good tournament. Beck's been there the whole time this fall. Young man named Chandler Dixon, just getting his feet underneath him. We're in qualifying right now. We're ready to leave for Alabama this Saturday. Chandler's playing a little bit better. So Chandler and Beck have come a long way, looking for Tanner to do the same thing.
Now talk about, that's a big tournament coming up. That's going to end the fall schedule for the men's side. Talk about that tournament that's upcoming.
Annual event, Central Alabama Fall Invitational, traditionally held at Willow Point in Alexander City. They're moving to a different venue this year down in Montgomery. But all of the schools in our district will be there. Some individuals from Division I colleges show up, gives it a different flavor. Just a really good event to close out the fall season.
So when you talk about qualify, what is the process in your system to qualify for that invitation or these tournaments that come up? At
the beginning of the year, we talk to all the guys on the team and say the most difficult tournament you'll play every week is our qualifying event. When you actually get to the tournament we're playing, and it should feel to you like, I'm here. We're going to play 72 holes. We play Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Traditionally on Friday, I try to play early in the morning. I like to tee off if I can 7:30, 8 o'clock to give us a feel for morning play. At the end of that, after 72 holes, traditionally I have 4 players that qualify, and we either have 1 pick or somebody who's exempt. The pick, in my 15 years of doing this now into my 16th, I've only picked 3 times. I've always gone with a low score.
I'll be darned, that's pretty good. Now, it's cool that you emulate like the early times and afternoon times.
Yeah, the bulk of the time we practice from 1 in the afternoon until dark. So the guys get used to that, they're accustomed to that. But then you tee off at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's a whole different mindset. Maybe you only got to bed a couple hours before. You know, did you eat breakfast? Are you ready to hit the ground running? For young folks, you know, young incoming student athletes in college, that can be a big transition. So rather than wait and find out, we do it in advance.
Yeah, because you like in the state of Florida too, the morning and the afternoon is the precipitation, the humidity are 2 different game changers.
The big thing is the golf ball goes so much farther in the middle of the day than it does in the morning. In the morning, you're going to lose about 5% at times, sometimes 10%. Humidity gets through the roof, ground's wet, the air's wet. It just changes basically the nature of the golf course. Now you adjust to the afternoon, you have to get used to the dry conditions. The ball is going to bounce and roll out more. Those guys have to recognize that. Part of my job is to help them with it, but they need to understand that too.
Now, when you do the qualifying, what are the sponsor courses and stuff that you do that? Do you do it at the same course?
No.
I know you have a lot of support in the community. Talk about that.
11 different courses in the county.
Wow.
We visit. I try not to wear our welcome out. I try to go to a venue that's at the very least somewhat like the one we're going to play the tournament on.
Okay.
Before we played Rio Pinar, I'm looking for a golf course that's demanding of the driver. If I'm going someplace with incredibly fast greens, I'm going to go to Suntree Country Club. I'll do everything I can to give the guys a little bit of a taste of what's coming.
All right, let's talk about the women's side. They wrapped up their fall season for the Flagler Slam. Talk about the women's side and some of the players that rose in your eyes.
We got off to a really good start. We hosted an event right after the Weber event was canceled. We hosted at Suntree, and the ladies finished second there. Shot our two lowest scores of all last year in the first event this year. For a coach, as encouraging as that was, the next thing is temper some of that enthusiasm, because normally it doesn't keep progressing that way. Sure enough, we went to Weber and played, and we struggled there. We went up to Flagler and played and struggled there. And the Flagler event was the same as the Rollins event. It was 18 teams, I believe. There was 2 other junior colleges there, and again, we're in the deep end of the pool. There was some really good talent there, some of the top 5 teams in the country. And for the ladies, it was an eye-opener, like this is what college golf is all about. Lauren Holder's been our most steady player for us. She fared well in all 3. She would tell you she could do better, and we could all say that, but she showed up for all 3 events. Some of the freshmen, Gabby Kohler, Gianna Piscatelli, both got their feet wet playing. Gianna qualified for the second event. It was good for her to see here's what college golf is going to be. And the sophomores returning, Caitlin McCallum, Reagan Taylor, just having the support of some sophomores there that have some experience under their belt, it was good for the whole team to take part.
Now you say deep end of the pool. I think it's kudos to you, the relationships, to get your school to play in these top-notch events. How have you done that over the years?
Yeah, I've done that since I first came on board. It seemed to me pretty obvious. If you play up, you raise the level of your program. You want to play up as high as you can without being in a situation where you're not competitive. That doesn't do anybody any good. And at the same time, it should be a challenge. It should be enough where they're a little nervous, they're a little bit scared about what's going on, and then when all's said and done, they recognize, hey, I can do this. We can do this as a group, and here's what we need to do, prepare for the next one.
Well, the thing is, too, Coach, you're going to see the brand that Eastern Florida is at these tournaments. That's great visibility.
Absolutely. The 4-year schools can also use it like a recruiting tool. They can watch junior college players play and see what they look like in competition, how they react, how their composure is. And hopefully it speaks for all of the work we do back at home, and they're going to want one of our players to transfer to their program.
Yeah, it's almost like free scouting per se.
To a degree.
Now let's set it up for the women's fall. Their fall schedule is done?
Yeah, we're working hard right now. We've actually been in a gym.
Okay.
We've been working at the Golf Academy. They're working hard. We get ready for the spring. We've only got 3 weeks of school left after this week. After November the 15th, we're limited to how much hands-on we can do with coaches, so they need to take care of their schoolwork. But come January, we hit the ground running because we're going to host the first event of spring on Super Bowl Sunday weekend.
I'll be darned. And then on the men's side, again, to reiterate, this is the final event coming up for the fall for the men's side.
Same thing. We finish up next Tuesday, which is the 14th. We have to finish our schedule by the 15th. They'll basically have the rest of the semester off, taking care of exams, getting ready for Christmas break. Come back in January. Everybody's had a little bit of a break. It's time to hit the ground running.
Well, Jaime, lucky we have you, and I tell you what, you do a great job. Happy holidays to you and the family, and good luck this week with the men's side.
Right back at you, Erik. Always a pleasure to be here.
Appreciate it. We're going to take a short break, come back, and talk with Parsons. Stick around. This is Inside Titan Sports.
Create the career of your dreams with a degree from Eastern Florida State College. Earn a bachelor's degree, associate's degree, or college certificate in growing job fields like healthcare, business, and computer technology. On campus or online, you can find inspiration and success. Anything's possible where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Hey fans, welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. It's time to catch up with our very own manager of athletic communications. He is Michael Parsons. Hey Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well, busy.
A really busy time of the year. Talk about men's hoops. They had a big opportunity up there in Vincennes, Indiana. Top-ranked team. Talk about how Coach Schulman and those guys fared up there in Vincennes.
Yeah, definitely. Men's basketball has a really tough schedule this year. I know Coach Schulman talked about it a couple weeks ago, but it started right away. You jump right in, you go to Indiana and play two really good teams. You beat Shawnee really well. Came back the next night against the number 4 team in the country, so it's number 4 versus number 5. Host Vincennes. They had a good lead, almost all the way through, but in the end, Vincennes pulled it out, and it was a tough loss. The guys were feeling it this week, but it's early in the season, and you lose to a number 4 team that Coach Schulman actually said was one of the best teams he's seen all year already. So, there's nothing to hang your hat on something like that.
Well, Coach Jeremy Schulman talked about last week about, kind of question the fact of playing someone that big so early. What are your thoughts on that, Coach?
Yeah, no, it really is. It's a tough thing, but at the same time, it's a good thing because you really get to measure the team now. You know, coach has really seen now what this team is capable of, what we need to work on and get ready. And so, you know that that'll just make us better down the stretch.
Well, let's talk different gears. Let's talk women's hoops. MJ Baker's come in and done some really special things to start 2-1 on the season. Talk about them real quick.
Yeah, definitely 2-1, and had a really good tournament at the Indian River Tip-Off Classic. So she went 2-0 there, and you know, the team really looks like it's coming together a little bit, and you know, that's a good thing to see early in the season as well. Just like the men, you know, you like to see that early on. And you know, one of the key players we actually sat down and talked to, Obouh Fegue, and she averaged a double-double, you know, in her first 3 games as a Titan. So we're going to check out that video right now. Well, Alex, thanks for joining me today, and we're going to talk about a little women's basketball. You guys had a really good weekend at the Indian River State College Tip-Off Classic. Talk about that.
Yeah, we won 2 games. The first one, we start plus 22 and we finish plus 2. We don't know what's happened, but we need to work on that. Like, we need to stay focused, and we need to continue to defend in defense. And
talk about the second game, because the second game you guys came back and really played well as a team.
yes, the second game we play better. We don't start very good, but we come back very good in offense and in defense. We do the better job before, so it's good.
Talk about your start. You've had a really good start personally with the Titans, both with defense and offense.
Yeah, but I need to do better my defense, and I need to work again on my offense, because I miss a lot shots. So I need to work with that, because I want the better for my team. So, and I know my teams need me. So I continue to work hard for my team, because we have an objective, and I work for that. So.
And you come here from France, so talk about what's basketball like in France?
It's different. Like, here you have a basketball and school, and France is not the priority is not really the school. Like, if you finish your scholarity, you can play, and it don't care. Like, if you have a diploma or not, and so it's different. Like, when we play here and in France, like, here we play most hard. I don't know how to explain, because it's different.
Yeah. Talk about your coming to Eastern Florida a little bit. How has it been? How has that transition kind of been into college and the college game?
My feel is good, because I have a good coach, so they help me a lot. So I can play how like, not how I want, but I can play my play. So it's good for me, because I need that. So they help me a lot for that.
Talk about this team a little bit. A lot of freshmen this year, a lot of players coming in new, I should say. Talk about this team and how it's gelled so far this year.
Like, we have a good group. We work hard together, and because we have the same objective, and we work for the team, and we, like, as a freshman, so we need to help her for the next season. The sophomore work hard and help the freshmen for the next season.
And you guys have a little break now before you play again. So what do you kind of work on now that you've had a couple of games to see how you are? What are you guys working on this week to get you better for next weekend when you get back in the games again?
We need to work in defense. We start here, and now we need to start more to be ready for the conference. So we stay focused on that, and we continue to work on that.
Well, thank you for the time, Alex.
welcome.
Now it's time to continue to talk with Michael Parsons. Big tournament coming this way, Paradise Jam. Talk about that. That's coming up very, very shortly.
Yeah, it's coming up fast. You know, it's one of those things we announced a while ago, and you're like, oh, it's coming up in the future, but now it's here, and you know, we couldn't be more excited. It's, you know, Division I women's basketball, really at its finest. I mean, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, Butler, Drexel, some really good teams. Thanksgiving week, it's going to be a lot of fun just to watch. You know, I'm going to be doing public address and that kind of stuff, but just to watch, you know, those kind of teams right here in our town is going to be just exciting.
That's pretty good. What about ticket information? Because that's a great part for the community to come and get involved in some very, very top-notch programs in women's basketball.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like I said, it's Thanksgiving Day is the first 2 games, and then, you know, each day, you $15 get you both games. So, you know, come for both and see a lot of great women's basketball. Thanksgiving Day should be a lot of fun, you know, noon and 2. So then you can go have your turkey dinner at the evening. But then we have Friday and Saturday. We have 2 games as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The last day is actually Virginia Tech versus West Virginia, which should be a really good game. Yeah,
it's pretty good, the Paradise Jam. Now let's talk about men's soccer. They fell short of making Prescott, Arizona, but a great year again for Oliver 12 Trees. 12-3. Talk about men's soccer.
Yeah, definitely. It was a rough trip to North Carolina. You know, it's always tough when you have to go on the road for a high stakes game like that. And, you know, the first night we survived, and it was a real battle. You know, it was one of those, you know, knockdown fights that, you know, both teams really wanted really bad, and I think it hurt us a little bit in the final. We took a lot of energy out, you know, in that semifinal just to get that win. But still, you know, you're in the finals of the district Southeast District tournament. You can't complain with that. You know, that's a great season. Danilo Orsi-Damo scored 3 times that weekend.
Wow.
So he finishes, you know, his sophomore season with 20 goals, and that's a record for, you know, Eastern Florida State College. And so, you know, a lot of great things came out of this year, and, you know, 12-3 record, nothing to shout about.
I'll tell you what, we witnessed history. 20 goals in a year, Danilo Orsi-Damo. That is pretty special.
It really is, and he's the Region 8 Player of the Year, which, you know, how could you pick anybody else but him? So I'm sure more accolades are coming for him as well, and I'm excited to see where he chooses to go on and play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, nice job, and good luck with a very busy holiday season.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's all the time we have. This is Inside Titan Sports for our producer, Rob Landers, Sam Hensler, and Michael Parsons. I'm Erik Kohler. Remember, anything and everything online, check us out, EFSCTitans.com. Until next time, Eastern Florida, where Titans rise.